showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. Never raise up a white flag. Didn't come this far just to turn back. The curtains fall for the last act. Breaking that levee, breaking that levee. We don't back down. This is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. We don't back down. This is what we're made of. Standing our ground. Here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary.
I got metal running through my bones, a resurrection like a ghost. Hurricane, go ahead and blow. Where you could keep your white flag, I'll never fold. A shadow on a battlefield, a survivor, never yield. A thunder, go ahead and shake. Don't run from the storm when I feel the rain. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. I got a fever in my blood, a falling embers from above. I feel the heat when the pressure blows, a wildfire that you can't control. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. With every beat of my heart, I'll be the light in the dark. You can't control this, I'm explosive. explosive.
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection. If we fix your foundation and you mention Race On Texas, you will get a 1-year free subscription to the All Access Pass.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new Click It RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at Click It RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
LSRTV welcomes you back to the Full Throttle Sim Racing Points Truck Series, live from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway after a thrilling finish just 1 week ago at Atlanta that saw Richie Coy get beat out by his teammate Brody Hanna by 3/1000ths of a second. Good evening, folks. I'm Jason Rockfell, a little bit under the weather tonight, so bear with me, obviously. Charles Wooten alongside me for all the FTSR coverage this season as my color and also producing. Charles, we saw one heck of a race last week. You can just tell how under the weather I am, that my memory is not all there, when usually I am basically a living stat book or history book when it comes to racing and also the sim leagues we cover. But different type of race, obviously. We're back at 1.5 miles, but not a super speedway. These guys talked about how it was going to be kind of a drafting race, but obviously we've seen time and time again here over the past few years that we've been covering stuff together that Las Vegas can be like that, but then can get kind of spread out.
Yeah, they definitely can. And, you know, I wouldn't say, I know you are under the weather, but you probably are accurate in your statement that it was probably a good race last year, too. You know, as we've mentioned, these guys don't seem to have a bad race so far. I don't think we've had over, 5 or 6 cautions in an entire race. So they're going to put on a good show here at Las Vegas. My question is, we know fuel mileage, and we'll talk about that, but is anybody going to gamble? As you know, we are in Vegas.
Yeah, that's obviously a thing we're going to have to see because, you know, these guys, they run 100% fuel load. We're going to have 46 laps on a fuel run. That was what Brody Hanna was telling us in practice. He told us that the fuel run was looking about to be 46 laps. By the way, real quick, let's take a look at the Hunt the Front .tv race analysis. Again, a one faster pair, 100% fuel load. Unlimited tires. I don't think that's true. I believe it's 4 sets of tires there. So, yes, 4 sets of tires tonight. 3 green, white, checkered attempts if needed. I know it says 2. And then this is at 130 lap race tonight, as far as I'm concerned. So a little bit of trouble there, Charles. But hey, we're still getting the hang of things. Kicking off in 2024. We're already almost 2 months in. But this is going to be a really good race. These guys are underway here in qualifying. And Charles, you mentioned obviously the thing about strategy. 25 laps will be the first stage, and then they will go to lap 55, the completion of that, and then that will be the yellow flag for stage number 2. So, I mean, Charles, it's not looking like these guys are going to have to pit during the stages. The only time they're going to have to pit is in between lap 55 to lap 130 here tonight.
Yeah, they won't be seeing too many pit stops, but obviously at one, so it'll be interesting to see when that strategy goes. Like you just mentioned, 46 laps, so like you just said, nothing during stage 1, nothing during stage 2. Will they come down? I would imagine during the caution, probably, because you obviously can't go 2 full stages. So I would imagine they would come down, but green flag stops, you're not going to get a whole lot of practice with it here, except for maybe in that very last stint. So that's going to make it very interesting to see. Hopefully these guys practice their pit stops, prior to coming in here in a test session, because you're definitely not going to get any here today.
Yeah, definitely, obviously. And we're seeing a lot of shuffling around here on the race leaderboard for qualifying. Nick Goebel, fastest lap so far with a 30.219, currently holds the pole. Then Brian Bliss was third. Now he jumps down to 5th, and now everybody is moving around there at the top of the board. James Mullins goes up to the top with a 30.14 there in that number 60 machine. So it looks like everybody
in Dilts here. He has a 50% win ratio. He's only made 2 races and he won one of them. So he is one of the guys that has a very high win ratio. Will that continue here tonight? I believe even if he won, that would put him roughly at 66%, somewhere around there if he won. So we'll see how he does, but a high ratio, but a very low count. So that'll be interesting. As you saw watching him, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with in this series.
Yeah, definitely a force to be reckoned with. Remember, James Mullins won the season opener at Daytona just a few weeks ago. Led the most laps with 23, and had Richie Coy and Cody McKinney come home second and third on the podium. And then you look at last week's finishing results. It was obviously Brody Hanna over his teammate Richie Coy by, funny enough, and this was days before the Cup race, 3/1000ths of a second, which is what separated Daniel Suarez and Ryan Blaney on Sunday's Ambetter Health 400 in Atlanta. And then Kyle Busch, from the gap from him to Suarez, was 7/1000ths of a second. So a 3-wide finish, definitely going to go down in NASCAR as one of the greatest finishes of all time. And by the way, speaking of Richie Coy, not here tonight. I believe he's got some personal business of his own, so he's starting the season with back-to-back runner-up finishes. Obviously, a third time will not be the charm for him tonight, because this is obviously the 3rd race of the season. He's going to have a little bit of work to do, but I mean, Charles, who do you really like going in here tonight? Obviously, at Vegas, we've seen a lot of guys be very strong in these first 2 races, but now this is where the season really starts here on these mile and a halves. I think if I had to pick somebody here tonight, I really like that 28 of Cody McKinney. He was really strong on mile and a halves. I think he's got what it takes here tonight.
I think I'm going to go with someone a little further down, just because I want to go with him. I'm going to go with our 10th place qualifier, Kyle. I just think he's got a good shot here. We'll see. He's in 10th, but hey, it's Vegas. You've got to gamble, and I think he might make a gamble here to try to get the win.
Yeah, with that being said, the field is getting ready to grid here in Sin City. James Mullins will take the pole here with Ryan Chapman to the outside. That will be row number 1. Row number 2 tonight, going to be going to Cody McKinney, my pick tonight. Last week's winner at Atlanta, Brody Hanna in the 23 machine. Row number 3 goes to Michael Black from Fury Motorsports, and Marshall Johnson in the number 9. Row number 4, you have Nick Goebel in the 1, and Tommy Schaefer, who he had some strong runs on mile and a half last year. Don't count him out there on the outside in row number 4. And rounding out the top 10, Charles, Robert Milikian in the 16 machine was really strong towards the tail end of last season. Gonna see what he can do. And then, Charles, your pick, Kyle Milliken to the outside in row number 5 to round out the top 10.
Yeah, I think he's just got something here tonight. We'll see. In row number 6, going to be Lewis Melgen in the 43, and the 6 of James Troy. On row 7, going to be Sherwood Williford, and the 99 of J.P. Burns. In row 8, going to be Joseph McKinney, and number 3 of Brian Bliss. He definitely wants a good run here tonight. Row 9, going to be the 5 of Tom Price, and the 98 of TJ Bartel. And rounding out your top 20 here is going to be Alan Duranko and the 91 of Justin Dilson. Since you're under the weather, I'll go ahead and finish it out for you, Jason, give you a little break. The number 7 on row 11 is going to be Wayne Grossi, and the 8 of Cody Mice. Row 12 going to be the 51 of Bill Hull, and the 11 of Tony Soler. We'll see how he does tonight. And rounding out the field in row 13 is going to be the 54 of Rick Webb. And Jason, I don't know if I've seen the Rick Webb before. He may be a new one, at least to my knowledge.
I believe Rick Webb actually made a start last weekend. Yes, he did. Actually 29th there in the standings. So he has made a start last week. Don't believe he started in Atlanta, but he did make a start at Daytona. I do know that for a fact. And thank you, Charles, by the way. So caring, taking care of your commentators. I really appreciate that with how under the weather I am. So that's obviously why, like I mentioned, folks, pretty under the weather. Probably, honestly, getting a little bit of a cold more than likely. Just had the flu last month. That was definitely not fun. So make sure you're staying healthy and whatnot. So bear with me tonight. I'm going to try to bring the energy as best I can, but Charles, these guys are going to bring the energy here pretty shortly with James Mullins and Ryan Chapman leading us down on the front row.
Yeah, they are definitely going to bring the excitement, so, we don't have to do as much excitement because they're going to bring it. We just get the fun job of calling what they are giving out, and we've said it for all the time, for years now that I've been doing this, 9 years, and however long you've been doing it. They're the show. We just call the show. So they're going to do it here tonight. And that 27, by the way, I like that goldish color with the red. Looking pretty nice in that 27 of Ryan Chapman.
Well, the show has begun. Green flag is in the air. James Mullins and Ryan Chapman going to lead us down to the green flag as you see Chapman try to work down to the bottom of the racetrack. Falls right in line behind Mullins. Entering turn number 1. You see Brody Hand in the FTSR machine. He's in the tuck in line there. That'll be the 4th spot going for him right behind Cody McKinney as they fly down this back straightaway. And Charles, one good little point to note. We mentioned Richie Coy. He is not here. He is the defending race winner of the spring Las Vegas race from last season. And then the 31 machine, Jeff Chandler, not here tonight in the truck race. He is the defending Las Vegas winner. So 2 previous winners from Atlanta. We're going to see possibly a first-time Vegas winner here tonight.
Yeah, this will be good. It's always nice to see a variety of winners in any series, as that is definitely it shows to the skill level these guys are that you don't get repeat winners. So definitely looking forward to that. As they've kind of gotten single file for the front 4. You go about 5th pass, you got Goebel, Blackner, Malikian back there, Johnson. They're not playing around. They're side by side here at the moment, and we'll see if they can get it sorted out. But it's you mentioned it earlier, and I want to hit on it again. This is kind of where I like to say, the cream rises to the top. We're done with these big super speedways, fast tracks. This is where you really have to come down to skill and know how to drive the track. So this, I say almost this will be our first winner.
Oh, Tommy Schaefer goes way up the racetrack and hits the safer barrier, entering turn number 1, and one truck way out of line. That in front of him would be J.P. Burns, nearly sliding across the 29's bumper. maybe we could try to get a replay on that. I saw the 29 come into the corner. Looked like he got doored for just a moment. Don't know if it was his fault or the opposing driver there on the inside. Just shot right up the racetrack there, Charles.
Yeah, we'll take a quick look here at the replay to see exactly what happened. As you saw it unfold, and we're going to watch the replay here.
Yeah, down into turn number 1. There it is. He kind of just comes right down into the path of, I believe that might be Joey McKinney. I could be wrong. It's that green truck with Martin Sports on it. I see that. So obviously, you know, he's going to be set back a little bit, but he's still doing a good job. It's Kyle Milliken, that's who it was. Kyle Milliken, the Martin Sports machine. You saw him kind of get down to the corner, and obviously Kyle was a little bit higher than usual, and Tommy just unfortunately got right up into him, shot himself up the racetrack. Thankfully, they all saved it. But Charles, noticing what we're seeing, we talk about these drivers having the skill here. Yes, they're definitely having the skill. They have to know how to drive the track, but still kind of a little bit of a drafting track. Not like Daytona or Atlanta, but it's still coming into effect with how aerodynamically dependent these trucks are here. With the bodies, the horsepower, the package that they have. I mean, this is usually how the real Atlanta race typically tends to go. Single file, everybody's drafting. You see some pack racing. We were warned coming into this weekend that these guys were going to be pack racing, and so far that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, that is exactly what you're seeing. And, you know, I'm going to be interested to see, you know, how much of that we see, because obviously your goal is you want to separate yourself. As you're watching the 16 right now, Robert Malikian, he is really trying everything. You see him going up high a little bit, then he'll dive back down. He is trying to find a way to get to the front of this pack. He may have a truck that is worthy of, you know, getting the win, but right now he's really stuck behind the 27 of Chapman, not able to get by him. So we'll see if he can make that move. If he can get by the 22, I bet you we'll see him drop to the inside pretty quick.
Robert Malikian won some races, at least one or two, I believe. It was in 2023D, which was the off-season during that time. So not a season that counted, but it was a fun season for these guys to stay warmed up during the off-season. So it's not an official win, but he's been really fighting and clawing every single year. Or not every single year, rather, but every single race since he joined the FTSR League. I remember last year at Kansas, Charles, talk about a story for that 16 of Robert Malikian. He was driving in the Cup Series, I believe it was, and coming into turn 3 to take the white flag, he had the advantage, but just got up into the outside wall. Could have won the race, but a heartbreaker for him that day, and you know, I mean, he's just trying everything he can right now. I mean, he's already up 2 spots. He's just got to be careful with how he's running that outside line, considering the fact that's where you usually see a lot of tire wear start. But down in 1 and 2, that's the place to be. It's right in that middle lane, because that bottom lane has a ton of bumps. But Robert doing a really good job in that 16.
Yeah, and one minor correction, and it's not your fault, Jason. It's actually mine. We did state one fast repair, because that's what I put in the overlays, and that was a typo on my behalf. There's actually no fast repairs, so I kind of set you up to fail there. I apologize, Jason.
Thank you.
I typed a 0 instead of a 1 on my keyboard, and I had to go make sure, but it is indeed no fast repairs. So my apologies there, Jason, for setting you up to fail a little bit. But you know, it does, you know, change. You have no fast repair. They're taking it pretty calm right now. I mean, you see them almost 4 wide, but they're still relatively calm on this track. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. But that 16 machine, I keep coming back to him, of Robert Malikian. He is still on that outside. Obviously, the 27 was able to get down to the inside, and I think he wants there too.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt about it. I think the 16, given the bottom side, with some clean air, I think he can definitely make headway up to the front to get to the rear bumper of Cody McKinney, who's in 4th. You see him now going to the outside lane. Brody Hanna comes up to block just a little bit, or actually that's the correction, Nick Goebel and the 1 machine. They file back out down into turn number 4, and now these 2 Martin Sports trucks of Robert Malikian and also the 27 of Chapman, they got to kind of run together. I mean, I know you're really not supposed to push all these kind of tracks, but if I were Robert, if I get anywhere near that 27 down this back straightaway or front stretch, man, I am pushing the heck out of him for sure, because You want to make sure you can get as much momentum, but Charles, they've been side by side for about over 10 laps now.
Yeah, they definitely have. And you talked about tire wear. You know, when you're side by side like this and you're not able to get in that groove, the preferred groove that you want to be in, where the tire wear is not, one of you is going to be wearing those tires a lot faster. So you, like I said, you want to get to the line where it's not going to wear them out, because as I mentioned, you got 46 laps on fuel. Tire wear, it's not the best, so we'll see how those tires do wear. You know, Jason, you've probably been around this track a few more times than I have as far as tire wears. With 46 laps of fuel, do you think we're going to be pitting for fuel when we pit, or are they going to be taking those 4 sets of tires? Could this become a tire strategy if we have some late race cautions?
Definitely, as you see, a really nice battle up here at the lead. Nick Noble able to go to the bottom, do a little bit of a crossover maneuver on Brody Hannon. While we look at this great battle, Charles, I would say they definitely take tires. I mean, with the amount that tires wear here, I mean, we're only 16 laps in. These guys are nearly about to be a second worth of wear already in on these tires. You see a great battle going on right here, like you mentioned. These guys all grouped up together. I mean, Charles, looks like shades of last week, but at the same time, it's not. Because you have to play this race like a drafting race, but also like a race where it takes some skill. So, great battling at the front, but yes, definitely, I think these guys, when they do pit at the end of lap 25, they're definitely going to be taking tires.
Yeah, I agree. And what I'm looking forward to is, you know, we talked about it. You got those 3 stages. You have 25, lap 55, and then we're going to race it out to the end. That is the stage. That third stage, when we go from lap 55 to 134, that's really when I think we're going to see some of these guys come alive, and they're going to show what they really have. Because right now, when you're just racing for a stage, personally, we'll see what you think on this. I don't really want to show what I have, because we are in open setups. So, you know, maybe I'll make some tweaks as we're about to wreck.
Oh, no! Brody Hand up and into the wall, turned in front of the field, collects the 60 machine as well of James Mullins, and somehow, some way we stay green. This has to be a caution, and there it goes. Caution is out. Massive multi-car pile-up. We are still piling them up all the way from out of turn 4, all the way to the entrance of turn number 1. And it all started there, Charles, when I think the 23 machine possibly got out of line, got a shove or something. We're about to take a look here. This is Tommy Schaefer. You're going to see him run right into these guys.
Yeah, this all started obviously up here. There was that kind of started stuff. And then further back, yeah, it was chaos from there. We'll go back and take another look with some of these drivers. But, there's a hood of a truck sitting on the track. Oh, and the 29 just gets nailed. So we're gonna have to take multiple looks at this, Jason, because the main wreck wasn't the one that actually brought out the caution. There was multiple incidents after that.
Yeah, we're going to take a look here. Hopefully we can see what happened in Brody Hannah's eyes. He might have gotten a really bad push coming out of turn 4, and you could just see them coming out of here. And this is a view from the 29 of Tommy Schaefer. Everybody starts piling them up. They all start spinning. Schaefer goes all the way to the top. Oh, and he just gets turned. Right there is what causes the yellow flag, obviously. And then here comes the 6 of Torrey. Pow! Right into the right rear quarter panel. Charles, let's take one more look and see if we can get a look at Brody Hanna and what happened coming off turn 4, because it was just a really awkward situation.
I would take a look here with our camera number 2 and see. They said it was a very awkward situation to see exactly what happened.
Yeah, you're gonna see. Oh, he just starts getting loose, and then when he tries to come back in line, the 60 already had enough momentum to have a nose in on the right rear, and then all of a sudden just got together. I mean, Brody Hanna should be okay. He's going to have some damage to that right side. Obviously, the same can be said for James Mullins, but then everything really starts. You see the Premier Racing setup shop car of Joey McKinney. He gets involved, many others, and I believe these guys are all on pit road here. I'm assuming about this time by, we're probably going to get the 1 to go signal, but that just took out 2 of our main contenders at the front.
Yeah, and not only did it take out 2 of our main contenders, if you look, you can see it. Obviously, the fans can't. That's why we're here to tell you. We have, out of 25, 14 that are still on the track. So that means 15th through 25th. So 10 trucks were involved in that one. To give a quick rundown of them, it was Hull, Barnes, Webb, Grassi, Schaefer, Bartel, Soler, Williford, Troy, Hanna, and Milliken. All of them trucks are involved in this. And the only thing I wish we had right now, and it's just not feasible, we don't have the way to pull that data, was that old graphic in NASCAR, I haven't seen it in a while, where they show you cars involved in the caution. I wish we had one of them, because it is a long list of trucks right now, Jason.
Well, I promise you, Charles, if you would have been watching the dang race on Sunday, you would have been seeing that graphic, because they included it after that lap 2 crash. So you should start watching some more NASCAR, bud, and stop watching guys in the wood sling mud. I'm just kidding, but obviously they did use that. Remember back on lap number 2 of Sunday's Am Better Health 400, massive multi-car stack up, and then created a massive pile up going into turn number 1. Created a lot of damage for some cars, only took a few out. But they were able to, obviously, most of them at least, for the most part, were able to get back going. And Charles, restart right here. We got some different guys. It's going to be restarting on the front row. It's going to be Nick Goebel and Cody McKinney. I mean, what do you expect out of these 2 rows coming up?
To be honest, I expect a slugfest coming to the end, because we're going to be taking the green to start lap 23, 24, 25. We're going to have very few laps to get to that stage caution, because what I love about this league is they don't extend the caution and make this the caution for the stage. We will run it out, so it is going to be a slugfest, knockout battle to that stage caution.
And here we go. Coming to the restart zone. Green flag's out. Lap 23 of 25 in this stage. So just 3 laps to go. This time by Nick Goebel, your race leader, with Ryan Chapman right behind him. Robert Malikian right behind them as well. Charles, you talked about how he wanted to get that inside probably. He finally has it. The question's going to be, what will he do with that momentum? You see Ryan Chapman, he'll go to the top side. And Robert Malikian, he's going to follow him with that Martin Sports branded truck as well.
Yeah, these guys are definitely, either they're working together or they're just, they're playing monkey see, monkey do, and he may get that top side cut off, or bottom side cut off. He does, as here comes the 28. Your pick in there, McKinney. He is going to try to get to second, possibly first, but we'll see if he can do it. Again, we're going to wrap this lap up, and then after that, we're going to complete lap 25. The caution will come out. So these guys are battling for every point. I was talking to Brody a little bit before as we come to take this flag here, 1 to go for the stage. They were saying these stage points added in this year, it really makes a difference, because if you don't have a good overall finish, getting 10, 15, 20 points for the stage really helps out.
Yeah, it definitely helps, obviously, if you were to get taken out late in the going. And here we go, final time down the back straightaway at stage number 1. It could be a photo finish like we saw at the end of Atlanta 1 week ago. Ryan Chapman packs some air on the door of Cody McKinney, but coming off turn number 4, Nick Goebel beats him to the line. Ooh, that's too close to call for a second. Ryan Chapman and Cody McKinney, and I think it's going to go to Chapman. He may get the nod here. Cody McKinney, P3. Robert Malikian there in P4. Blackner 5th. Lewis Meglin 6th. Marshall Johnson, James Mullins, Colby Mice, Justin Dilts there. Charles, round out your top 10. What a finish, and what a great racing there in stage 1 for those first 25 laps.
Yeah, the win may have gone easily to Goebel, but I would do, man, what a race, especially for a second with Chapman and McKinney. Those two were literally side by side. If that would have been for the race win, we may have had to go to like super ultra slow-mo just to figure out who crossed that line first.
25 laps in the books as we work around on lap 27. These guys are going to come in, service their cars, but we're going to step away real quick, then come back for the start of stage number 2. This is LSRTV's coverage of the Full Throttle Sim Racing Points Truck Series from Sin City at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Stick around. We'll be right back for the start of stage 2.
10 years of speed. 10 years of stories. For the past 10 years, we've been more than just spectators. We've been the heartbeat of local racing, growing alongside the tracks, drivers, and fans who make it all possible. From the dusty turns to the checkered flags, we've shared every triumph and every challenge, making memories that last a lifetime with the adrenaline-fueled world we love. Our commitment to the local racing community is unwavering, and the next chapter promises to be our most exciting yet.
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. Here at Hercules Foundation Repair, we are here to help with our free in-home evaluations and personal repair plans. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection.
Welcome back as I try to finish some Cheez-Its there. We come back obviously for the start of stage number 2 here, Charles, coming up. Different group of fellas here up at the front of this field. Rick Webb, Tommy Schaefer back up in the game. We saw a lot of pit stops going on. A lot of the guys who are up at the front now, they find themselves running in 4th and 5th. So it looks like Webb, Schaefer, and JP Burns are going to start up there. And I believe, if my stats sheet is correct, they pitted 7 laps prior to those who just did.
Yeah, they definitely did indeed pit just a few laps earlier. You know, and we talked about tire wear, you know, pit stops. They were going to be a strategy. You know, this is a strategy. It's a few laps, not a whole lot, but, you know, they're virtually rolling those dice here in Vegas, so we'll see if their gamble pays off. You know, 9 laps tires versus 2-lap tires. Some of those obviously were under caution, so we'll just have to kind of wait and see if their tires, you know, hold out. Because the longer that you go, you know this as well as I do, you know, eventually all tires kind of will plateau at some point. So if you have these 2 tires versus 9 laps on them, if you're going to make a pass, you need to do it fairly quickly while, you know, they're not plateaued, because once they plateau, they'll be the same out there. So this could get real interesting.
And you're absolutely correct here, as we're going to be restarting on lap 31 of 55 in the stage. So it's looking like we're going to have a 25-lap dash, just like we did in stage number 1, till the end of this stage. So here we go. Rick Webb, Tommy Schaefer, JP Burns. We've seen the fall off. Will it be detrimental to these guys with 7-lap older tires? Green flag is back out in the air. Rick Webb leads them down there with Tommy Schaefer on the outside. Burns right behind. You see Goebel trying to fall out of line. The 28 machine of Cody McKinney. He thought about going to the middle for just a second there, Charles, but they're all going to start to kind of fan out here down this back straightaway.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if we stay double file, or if we're going to go single here early on, and that'll be, you know, just something different from the front one. They did get single file a little bit. They were still double file. We'll see how they do it in stage 2 because, like I said, the further you get into this race, now we're 104 laps to go, 31 complete. Make it 32 as they get to the line next time. Laps will wind down. You know, we mention it all the time. We're running 34-second laps right now. 30 was their fastest. Obviously, they're getting up to speed. So you're running about 2 laps a minute. You know, with 100 laps to go, you're looking at about, 50 minutes of racing. It's not a lot of time to get around this track to make something happen. As the front 2, they're kind of checking out. They're pulling away, but behind them, they are 2 and 3 wide. As you got the 22 of Blackner taking it 3 wide.
Yeah, you see all of them starting to go 3 wide. Rick Webb got shoved out of line. Now he's starting to fall back all the way to the middle there, while Ryan Chapman tries to work around J.P. Burns. He is the last truck up there at the lead pack that did elect to stay out there after pitting just 7 laps prior. But look at this field, Charles, get all spread out here going down into turn number 1. You see Grassi, a few others as well. These guys are really racy here tonight.
Yeah, they're very racy, and we're getting comments. We'll talk about stuff. I was checking the messages there. People are really starting to hype up the rain coming to iRacing here very shortly, along with the new micro sprints. And while we're talking a little on that, I was talking to some drivers, and one of them mainly the 3 of Brian Bliss, and I asked him, when are we going to run mini sprints here at Full Throttle? And he said, we don't have a lot of dirt guys, so we probably won't be seeing much of that. As he's all for it, he'd do it. He's running good here in 11th right now. Is just ahead of him. It's getting a little chaotic, but a little side note there. It was a little interesting fact, but yeah, just ahead of him right now, Blackner and Dills. Those 2 are duking it out side by side, getting a little chaotic for him probably in front.
Mentioned obviously iRacing having an update soon. The rain coming to a few tracks with a few track and car combos near you. Also the addition of the micro sprints along with the great micro center of the world, pretty much, Millbridge Speedway. I believe that's going to be a really, really fun time. I tell you what, Charles, I don't really do a lot of dirt on iRacing. I've gotten a street stock winning dirt rookie cars before, but I definitely might try to take my hand at some of those micro sprints because I know how fun they can be.
Yeah, and I'm not, I'm not saying I'm speaking for iRacing in any way, but you have sprint cars, you have the micros or mini sprints, whatever you want to call them, depending on where you are in the country. You scanned Millbridge. Their slogan, by the way, is home of the Mini Outlaw series. So if you don't know what a Mini Outlaw is, well, it's a go-kart, so you're there. I would not be surprised if they haven't already. We see like a QRC or a Ryan Foster chassis or something like that. We very well could see some go-karts, like outlaw karts, come into the sim here in the near future, because they were already up there, and I bet you they saw one while they were there. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. What we don't have to wait on seeing, that is a potential battle for the lead, as Chapman is running down J.P. Burns right now in that 27 machine. Yeah, we'll see. He's only got a few laps to do before the stage caution is up, but he's right there all on his back bumper.
JP is actually doing such a great job out there, Charles. I'm surprised that he's been able to hold off these guys for so long. And you talk about tire equalization, and look at this lap times for the last lap times. JP Burns, this time by at the line, we can take a look, 31 almost flat for him, 30.90 for Ryan Chapman, so not even a tenth separated those guys. In fact, it was more or less about a few hundredths of a second. So you talk about those tires equalizing. Surely enough, they look like they have equalized. All it's going to take Ryan Chapman here, Charles, is one good massive run, one full around to the outside or inside, and he's going to go to the front, and J.P. Burns is going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, he definitely is. And, I talked about it. I wondered if they would go double file like they did in stage 1, or if they would shake it up a little bit. And look at them. They've shaken it up. They're going single file here for now. We've seen this. We saw it in Atlanta as well. They're going to go single file here for a little bit, and I bet you when we get to about lap 50, we're going to see them double back up, and they're going to make a run for the front very quickly. I would imagine probably somewhere around 6th place right now where Nick Goebel is. Those group are going to really, make their way to the front and on that outside lane. But, time will tell. I could be wrong on that as well.
Yeah, it could all be a waiting game coming around. Once they hit lap 46, it'll only be 10 laps to go until the end of the second stage of the completion of lap 55. You see some drivers getting out of line back there. There's Cody McKinney working on the one of Nick Goebel. He'll go to the outside. And here's James Mullins. Look at him. He was involved in that first incident coming off turn 4 with Brody Hanna. He's been able to really kind of come back. I mean, he's in the 8th right now. I know he started up in the first row, I believe it was, but doing a great job. All he's missing is Brody Hanna. Brody Hanna, if you look back from the back of this field, 22nd, 1 lap down for last week's winner. Not the kind of start that he wanted, obviously, tonight after having such a good run in practice, such a great running qualifying, running very good there up at the front until that incident happened. So, but here's the thing, though, Jeremy. Or rather, Charles. So used to working with Jeremy Stanley still in the FTSR League from last year. It's going to take me a little while to keep remembering that you're Charles and not Jeremy. But one caution, Charles. And Brody Hanna's right back in this thing.
Yeah, it will not take but just that one caution. And, his big thing right now, and luckily we're not at a super speedway track, is staying with his pack as best you can. And we're going to get that caution at the end of this stage. And looking, he has about 15 laps on this stint. I don't know. He's probably going to want to come down for tires in about 10 laps. That'll put him on 25 laps. But he can go more. Remember, they can go 46 laps on fuel. So he could stay out and hope for a caution and take that wave around. And then he'd be back in mint condition trying to get that machine back up there. So, all these are different scenarios that could play out. We just kind of have to wait and see which one of them is going to play out. Could he get the lap back? Could he not? Again, it's all just a strategy game.
Well, you also got to look at it like this. TJ Bartel is 24 seconds nearly off the pace, and he very well could go a lap down. And if he does, Brody Hanna is going to be in big trouble. If the caution were to come out now, or if he continues to be the only man on or the first car, rather, 1 lap down, Brody Hanna is going to get that free pass, and he'll be able to pit with the rest of these guys, Charles. So I think he's going to be just fine, possibly, if the caution comes out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think it'll be fine, but you do have to make sure you are the first car lap down, because unfortunately, every car doesn't get a lap back, unless the leader, you can get wave around, but you want that lucky dog. So we'll see how it goes. Caution is the best chance for him. And, quite frankly, if I'm him, I'm probably hoping for a caution, here very quickly before the stage so he can get his lap back and then pit with the rest of the guys on the stage. That would be what I would be hoping for, banking on. But is it going to happen? I don't think so. These guys are racing pretty clean right now, but they are trying to shake it up a little bit for 2nd, 3rd, 4th as we're going to go too wide. They thought about 3, but didn't work with the 99 of Burns and Mullins in the 60 as we're back to 2 wide, 2 deep for about 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Look at Joey McKinney in this 18 machine there, Charles. Already up 10 spots. He must have been doing a lot of sim time over the offseason, because Joey McKinney used to be a mid to backpack driver, always getting involved in stuff. In these first few races, he has done a heck of a job in that 18 Toyota Tundra machine, and now he's following the other McKinney there of Cody. Believe it's his brother. Again, I gotta find out, but I believe it's his brother. But they're following each other right now, doing a great job. They might be able to go to the lead right here, coming into 1.
Yeah, and we'll keep an eye on that as well. We're watching, another driver who I've talked to quite a bit, and that is Brian Bliss. He talked about there was a season that he didn't even complete in a single race. He's on the team, his own team, called DNF Kings. He's doing a pretty good job right now in 7th place. Now 8th place is Megalin gets by him, but for someone who calls themselves the Do Not Finish Kings, he's doing pretty good right now in 8th place. But yeah, you're right, McKinney is doing a fantastic job, and I believe we're about to put somebody, that is Marshall Johnson. They're going to get by him now. Nope, sorry, that is not Johnson.
Yeah, that's Bill Hull, 51 Phoenix Racing car. Remember throwing it back to James Finch and all those guys from Phoenix Racing back when Kurt Busch, Reagan Smith, multiple other different drivers used to drive that 51 car back in the back in 2012 in that number 51 machine. But now here's a problem kind of developing here, Charles. Brody Hanna now is no longer the first car one lap down. TJ Bartel holds that spot. So, I mean, Brody Hanna is going to have to pull a little bit different strategy here, more than likely, if he wants to get back up on the lead lap coming up.
Yeah, that was not the optimal thing to happen for him. So you're right. He's got to pretty much rearrange his whole strategy now for this race. As, you know, you're banking on it, and then it doesn't happen. We'll see how it all does end up playing out. As we're starting to see a battle for the lead. No surprise there. We're coming up on lap 54 to start lap 54 in a minute. As, well, it's showtime if you want to get the stage win for stage number 2.
Definitely coming up here. Showtime. 2 laps to go in stage number 2. Look at James Mullins trying to put it 3 wide down to the bottom before they enter turn number 1. But he's able to maintain his spot right back in line behind the 16 of Melikian. Coming into turn number 1, down the back straightaway this time, Charles. Coming to 1 lap to go. I mean, these guys are neck and neck right here.
Yeah, this is going to get real interesting. We're either going to have a really good finish or we're going to have some sheet metal on the track. And we've already seen Wood Hood flying on the track. Hopefully we don't see any more, as now we take the white flag on stage number 2. And it is just a nail-biter right now between McKinney and Malikian. Those guys side by side, and I think McKinney may have something. You picked him, and he's showing right now that you made a right call.
Yeah, he'll go down to the bottom, obviously, leave his brother up top there, heading into turns 3 and 4. Malikian gonna battle with him, but it's gonna be the one McKinney. Cody McKinney picks up the stage win in stage number 2, and again, a photo finish for second there, Charles. And it's gonna go to, I believe, possibly Joey McKinney there. We're gonna have to wait and see, but as the top 10, out of order right now, Cody McKinney, Robert Malikian, Joey McKinney, Chapman, Goebel, Mullins, Burns, Meglin, Durango, Bliss. Again, another fantastic stage. I'm ready to see what's going to happen here in this long run.
Yeah, this long run's really, really going to be interesting with about 75 or so to go. We know they'll have to pit in that stage. They're going to pit now. That's, you know, a given. We know it's coming, so I am really looking forward to stage number 3.
Stage 3 coming up. These guys are going to come to the service of their virtual pit crews, obviously, and catch up to the back of the pace car. This is LSRTV. Our coverage of the Sim Racing Points Truck Series. We're going to step away real quick, be right back for the start of Stage 3. Don't go anywhere.
Years of speed. 10 years of stories. For the past 10 years, we've been more than just spectators. We've been the heartbeat of local racing, growing alongside the tracks, drivers, and fans who make it all possible. From the dusty turns to the checkered flags, we've shared every triumph and every challenge, making memories that last a lifetime. As we mark this milestone, we're not just looking back, we're revving up for the future. We are expanding, bringing you even more racing, more coverage, and more ways to connect with the adrenaline-fueled world we love. Our commitment to the local racing community is unwavering, and the next chapter promises to be our most exciting yet.
Drag race to the line.
At Click It RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Welcome back to LSRTV's coverage here of the FTSR Sim Racing Points Truck Series from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I am a very under-the-weather Jason Rockefeller alongside Charles Wooten here, bringing you all the coverage here throughout the many different, obviously, streaming platforms here. And Charles, we've seen a very good race so far, very clean race, only one caution. All caused by kind of a mishap. I mean, what do we want to expect here coming up in stage number 3? Because this is going to be very interesting. Cody McKinney picked up the second stage win. I picked him to win, said he was really good at these mile and a halves. Now he's going to start here alongside Robert Malikian, who's been really, really strong all night long. I mean, if there's anybody I think who can challenge this 28 here, it's going to be him. I mean, what do we expect coming up here in stage 3?
Yeah, I expect a little bit of what we had before. I think they're going to be somewhat calm. But we have 75 laps to go, 74 when we take the green flag. I think that calm will eventually subside. You know the old saying, calm before the storm. That's exactly what we're going to see. We're going to see a little bit of calm, and then we're going to see that storm when we get to the end, because I agree with you. I think Cody McKinney has a good shot here. He's been fast, but I'm not counting anybody in that top 10 out right now. Everyone's been right there together. We haven't seen, that typical separation where you have one car taking off and leaving everybody. So, yeah, if it's going to be a storm, it may be, a superstorm at this point.
About ready to go here, coming to the restart on lap 61 of 134. Handful of laps to go here, Charles. Going to get interesting. Cody McKinney, Robert Malikian there outside. Row number 1, Goebel, Chapman, Joey McKinney, James Mullins there. Round out your top 6 first 3 rows. Green flag is back out. Cody McKinney is going to lead them back down to the green flag here. Very, very late and delayed restart by the 28 machine. Edmonds might have to keep an eye on that one. Possibly give them a warning for kind of firing off and then not firing off. So we're going to see what happens here with that. Should be no harm, no foul. Goes around 1 and 2. He's got Nick Goebel right on his back bumper.
Yeah, that could be an interesting one if they have to review that, kind of like a jump start. You would see more in, dirt racing than anything. But you can see it in asphalt where the leader will try to, gas it and then hit the brake and gas it again to kind of jump the start to stack the field up a little bit and get a little bit of extra of a jump. So we'll see if the admins do redeem anything on that, or if it was just enough he's under the radar. But I said they were going to be a little calm and cool before the storm. They're kind of proving me wrong, Jason. These two are side by side battling for second, and you got a whole fleet of cars behind them ready to get by.
James Mullins in the number 60 machine going to the outside there with Robert Malikian behind him. Ryan Chapman as well. And I mean, James Mullins was all the way back there. After that incident with him and Brody Hanna and a majority of his field, and now he finds himself possibly going for the lead. I mean, what a comeback for a season opener winner.
Yeah, definitely a comeback. We'll see how he does, and you got to keep your eye on these guys that show up and just win, and that's what Mullins did, and he's doing it again here tonight. He's proving, that was not a fluke. He is somebody to be contended with. He's going to be a contender in the series as long as he's here. And talking about the series, real quick, you might see, if you're looking at their schedule, you only see so many races. You mentioned it early. This is just season A. There's like a champion of this season, and then there's an overall playoff champion as well. So you kind of get little mid-season, but you get, A, B, and C champs, and then you also have an overall champion. So it's really cool how they laid this all out, and it's going to be real cool to see who wins each one and who wins the overall.
Yeah, it should be a great time, obviously. That's what makes this league so much fun, is there's separate seasons, and then there's the playoffs, obviously, which is season C, basically. And then, you have your A, your B season champions, and, a little bit of contact there. James Mullins, Nick Goebel heading out of Tri-Oval, making some contact with Cody McKinney and leading the brigade here up at the front of this field. Doing a great job. And there goes James Mullins again. Once back to the outside, and Charles, he's going for the lead right here going into 3.
He is going to try to get the lead. We'll see how it all works out for him, but I think it's going to be fairly good, as he's going to try the line. Not quite there just yet. Mullins still in second place. It goes to show just how fast the truck is. You got 2 cars on the outside trying to make it work. That is, of course, Mullins. Well, now you got one, is the one's going to leave him a little solo out there on the high side, but he'll pick up, I believe that's the 27 back there of Chapman, who quickly jumps up to help him.
There you see Ryan Chapman riding right behind Robert Malicki in there. And look at JP Burns as well, one of the drivers who was involved in that wreck. And here he comes, Tommy Schaefer, one of the other ones who was involved. Great recovery for him as well. Not only did he go around and got involved in that wreck, but he was also up into the outside wall many laps ago. I mean, Charles still, besides Cody McKinney, a lot of these guys are still very racy here tonight.
Yeah, and I feel bad a little bit. 3 laps down, he's on track. That is the 42 of Kyle Milliken. I picked him, and I think I commentated or cursed him, so I apologize to Kyle. Unfortunately, he is just not having this. Got involved earlier, and sorry I said 3. He's actually 9 laps down. I don't know if he's going to be able to recover from that. We'll wait and see. As I will say that Brody Hanna still 1 lap down, so he is fighting to get back. He is, however, now the one that would get the lucky dog the free pass. So he's in good shape again. He just needs to make sure he maintains that good position.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt about it. You see them going through 1 and 2. I mean, look at Charles. This is a great camera angle here from the various positions around the racetrack to just see how grouped up this field is. You mentioned, that nobody has really been able to get away. I mean, Cody McKinney is leading this race right now. He is just still hanging on right on the front bumper. Nick Goebel, James Mullins, nobody is able to get away. I expect this race here to maybe get a little spread out here once the tires start severely wearing, because remember, 25 laps was the distance for both these. Oh, we got 1 car going sideways. Joey McKinney there out of line, coming out of turn number 2, and and they're going to be wrecking down the back straightaway. 3, 4 trucks, maybe even 5 down here, heading into turn number 3. You see Rick Webb, Justin Diltz, I believe, are involved. There's Justin Diltz in the Premier Racing setup shop machine. Let's take a look here, Charles, see what happened coming off turn 2.
Yeah, we saw McKinney get there. I think he managed to worm his way through this, but behind him, chaos ensued. We'll see, watching Justin Diltz right now in the 91, and there you see one going. He pretty much saves it, and then he gets turned anyway, just too hard into the inside wall.
Yeah, let's take a look real quick. Let's focus on Joey McKinney again. Take a look and see what happened, because I'm not too sure if he ran into the back of somebody or if he just got straight up loose. Because I think, I mean, in my opinion, I think he got loose here. So we're going to run it back one more time. You see him riding behind Tommy Schaefer. This is at the time running for the 8th and 9th position. Drafting down the straightaway. Heading into turn number 1. Looks like everything's all good. And all of a sudden... Oh, he just ran to the back there, Charles. You saw the 3 of Brian Bliss kind of cut down Tommy Schaefer. The 18 had no time to check up. Did a heck of a job saving him, but then everybody behind him just unfortunately piled in.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate. Luckily, didn't he got some hits there, but maybe not the worst that you could possibly get compared to some of the others. But he'll probably have to go in and get some of that fixed, as that does put us under a caution, though.
Yeah, here's the Virginia811.com race summary reminding you to dig with care. 4 cautions so far, 15 caution laps, 11 lead changes. Pretty good here so far for the first 73 laps at Las Vegas, and James Mullins able to have this lead right now. I believe Cody McKinney there, Charles, just came in for his 3rd set of tires, and he in fact did. So now he's got one more set remaining. He came in now. Other drivers as well: Nick Goebel, Tommy Schaefer, Durango, Mice, Price. That rhymed. Those guys all came into the pits that time by, and now they're going to be restarting with guys who nearly have 20 lap older tires going up in front of them. I mean, what kind of restart is this going to present to us?
Yeah, when you got that many older tires, everybody's in there. You're looking at the top 10. So your first 5 rows, man, those guys have got to be on it. They cannot spin the tires. If you got these front rows guys, Mullins, Maliki, and Burns, Chapman, if any of them spin the tires and stack this field up, we could see a huge pile up. And if you're somebody back there like McKinney, Goebel, Schaefer, Durango, Mice, Price, they rhyme there, you do not want to see that, because you have a nice truck, you have fresh tires, and you don't want to be involved in that. Hopefully none of that happens. Time will tell, but yeah, spinning the tire is a big thing here when you got worn out tires.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt about it. You do not want to spin the tires on this restart. I mean, I'm not expecting many guys to do so, but it's going to be about them versing the guys on newer tires here. Once we come down to the green flag and once they get back rolling, could create some strategy. And Charles, the possibility of this race going green to the end is really high. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, let me do some finger math real quick. So they just pit on lap 72, so you go 82, 92, 102. I mean, they're going to have to pit at least one more time, that being Cody McKinney and the rest of those guys. I mean, when you look at these guys right here, I mean, I would expect them to only be able to pit one more time too. So, I mean, strategy very well could be a factor here for the rest of this race if it goes green.
Yeah, it definitely could be. And, your pick, where is he right now? I think my pick's, I didn't jinx him, but Cody McKinney, the first one on fresh tires in 28th. We'll see how quickly or slowly it takes him to get to the, we haven't seen a whole lot of passing here. They've been too wide, so there's been a little bit of it. And I'm interested to see, how quickly he can get up there with new tires. So, time will tell on that one. But we're going to be 59 laps to go. So, very quickly, Jason, 59 to go. We've completed 74, 75 at the line. This race is going by a lot quicker than I imagined it would.
Yeah, this race is definitely going by very, very quickly here. We're about to find out and see, coming to the restart, row number 1, James Mullins, Robert Malikia. 2 is J.P. Burns, Ryan Chapman, and 3 is Brian Bliss and Michael Blackman. So this is going to get interesting, obviously, with these guys now all the way back to Cody McKinney in 11th, having fresher tires compared to the older tires. Again, Charles, you mentioned the older tires eventually kind of equalize with the newer tires because of the wear, but with the significant amount of laps between those drivers, I'm just not sure if it's going to work out here. So we're going to have to find out and see. And James Mullins going to be leading us back here into the Geico restart zone in just a moment. Pace car dips down below. And here we go. Coming to the green flag to take on lap 76. Green flag is back out. James Mullins leads them back down with Robert Malickian to the outside. JP Burns there, Ryan Chapman. Everybody's starting to fan out as they go down into one.
And they're fanning out, and we'll see JP Burns currently running in second. And there you go. You're going to see a nice field view as a lot of snaking around. These guys are trying to cut that little air off the truck behind them. You know, the further you can break that draft-ish, a little bit of draft, behind the truck, behind you, you can, somewhat pull away from them. You want to get as big a gap as you can. So that's why you see them kind of weaving and dodging around, trying to figure out where they want to be. The battle is already back on, but this time it's a little further back, about 8th, 9th, and 10th. We'll kind of wait and see. And this is the first time I've seen this outside lane with the momentum. Well, now it's not, because the outside lane merged into the bottom of it.
And you see all those guys now starting to kind of come down. More drivers electing to go down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Some still up top. You have Michael Blackner kind of leading them up top. But look at Robert Malickian going to the top side. He's been the guy to pretty much do that all night long. Gives up the bottom to Brian Bliss, Ryan Chapman. So they're going to run hard. And then you have JP Burns trying to figure out a way to get around that 99. And I mean, look at that 28 machine right now there, Charles. Cody McKinney, we talked about him pitting last on lap 72. I mean, doing a good job, but I mean, still, he's not up there at all. He's being held up right now in that 9th position. He's got nowhere to go.
He's got absolutely nowhere to go. So, again, and that's not what you want. You want to be able to get, where you want to go. And if you're getting held up or you just don't have anywhere to go, not ideal when you're on the racetrack. As forward progress is always a good thing. And again, we mentioned it, 56 laps to go. You don't have a whole lot of time to make that forward progress with 30-second laps. You're looking at about, 28 minutes of racing time. So, I always try to, compare those two. 28 minutes, 56 laps. When you do it in minutes, it doesn't seem like near as much time to make something happen. And the few times I ever raced on iRacing, that was the thing I kept in my head was time, because it's not amount of time. 28 is a lot smaller number, so it makes you a little more motivated as the 16 gets a little loose, but he saves it. Mullins out front, and they're starting to heat up a little bit, but it's still further back where all the battles are happening, around 5th, 6th, 7th, and back. The front two, Mullins and Burns, they've kind of checked out a little bit.
You see them kind of checking out a little bit, but Ryan Chapman right behind them. They kind of snake heading down into turn number 3 for a quick moment. Everybody able to kind of maintain back to turn number 4. This time of the line, lap 82 goes up on the board now. And, I mean, still nowhere to really go for Cody McKinney back there. I'm surprised he's actually fallen back a little bit more there, Charles. This outside lane just not really going anywhere currently, and if you're on that bottom lane, you're kind of trapped.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to be trapped back there. And, again, they're putting on a nice battle there. I want to give these guys some love back here as well. You got Duranko McKinney, your guy back in 15th. He's fallen back a little bit. Not quite where he wanted to be, but hey, those tires will come in at some point. Again, he's got about 10 laps more or less laps on him, so I think they'll come into play here shortly. Obviously, he's not going to have to pit as quick either, because that's the one thing we have yet to see, and we're going to see now in this stint with 25 laps on the stint for someone like Mullins. He's got approximately 20 laps, and he's going to have to come down, whereas some of these guys like McKinney have 11, so they have a lot longer to go. So at some point, we are going to see those two strategies kind of butt heads, and it'll see which one comes out on top.
Yeah, we're going to find out here pretty soon. I mean, obviously, with these guys pitting so many laps to go, and I mean, they can only go about 46 laps on fuel, so you look at it, they're probably going to be pitting here around the lap 90 mark, more than likely somewhere around there, or rather 97. I mean, Charles, this race has been really interesting. We've seen a lot of passing, a lot of drafting going on. Nobody able to really pull away. Even still up at the front of this field, James Mullins, J.P. Burns, they're kind of just hanging in there, maintaining. Robert Malikian, he's running that bottom side, doing a great job with Nick Goebel, but really surprised. And what I'm most surprised about still, and I'm going to say it one more time, is Cody McKinney not being able to go anywhere.
Yeah, he just hasn't, and I'm surprised by that, to be honest. I figured those, literally about 10 lap fresher tires would really, benefit him, but they're not. They're just not pushing him where he wants to go. He's still in 10th place, right about where he restarted at. So, just not doing it. He may take 9th here from Blackner as he's on the inside. And I think some of this, Jason, does credit to the fact, as he's going to go to the high side, is everyone's on the bottom as we got one basically on the apron, which is perfectly fine. And that was close there. We almost had a little bit of a collision between the 16 and the 99, but everyone's on the bottom. That's the lane they're wanting to run, and you can't pass someone if you're running the same line as they are.
Yeah, you can't obviously pass somebody if you're running the same line, because not only is obviously, no-brainer, they're in front of you, but also you can't really have them kind of get a mistake, with this track obviously being almost full throttle, even with the tire wear. Charles, we talked about these trucks, being super aerodynamically dependent, and you just can't go anywhere in dirty air. When you're a truck like Brian Bliss up on the outside having clean air, you're at such much more advantage than Cody McKinney there on the 28, who's riding behind you. Sure, he's got the draft down the back straightaway, but you're punching a hole through the air and letting the slipstream kind of just trickle back off your car. But there you go, you see Cody McKinney have the middle open. He's going to go to the bottom now, or through the middle. Nick Goebel going to follow him this time as they head back to one.
Yeah, and my question is, as we check out the front here a little bit, these guys, if you're somebody like Burns, Chapman, Leakey, and Goebel, McKinney, that are sitting in the second through about 6th, 7th place right now, obviously Mullins is quick. We've established that one. If everyone's running the same line, are we going to see someone use maybe the chrome horn, the chrome bumper here later on in this race? You don't wreck them, just kind of push them out of the groove a little bit, push them up high and get by them. Could we see that as a move of desperation here, maybe in these last 5 or 6 laps, to try to make it if there's no other way around them?
Definitely a possibility, but on a mile and a half like this, I would not say so. You could use the bumper a little bit, try to pack some air probably as much as you can on these trucks. We're just gonna have to find out and see. We've seen some great finishes, great racing here at Las Vegas in the past and also tonight, so we're going to have to find out for sure. Lap 91 going up on the board. Charles, I expect those guys that pitted at lap 57 to probably be coming into the pits here pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do expect to see them coming in very soon. We're on lap 33 of the stint, so yeah, they're going to have to come in as we're about 3 laps away from 10 to go, so about 13 laps to go before they absolutely just have to come in. And I'm looking at some of the stats here for some of these guys at Las Vegas for all time, and you got people like Brody Hanna, who's obviously not right now in contention. He is back on the lead lap, so that is good for him, but he's got 10 starts here. Pole 30% of the time. His average start is 6. His win percentage is 20. And his average finish is around 10th. So, he's got good stats here, not having the day he wants, but yeah, it's interesting. And if you haven't checked them out, you told me to check out their website if you're looking to join their league or just want to check them out. Very fantastic, very informational website, because you can keep tabs on these guys as we're keeping tabs on Brody Hanna and all these guys in here just to see what their stats are and if they're kind of improving or, not doing as good here at this time in Las Vegas compared to the past years.
Yeah, obviously a lot of guys here have some good stats at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You talk about Cody McKinney, Richie Cooley, Brody Hanna. Majority of those guys have some really good runs here. And Charles, here's one thing that's really to note for you. You're seeing this tire wear kind of really start to play a big factor, because look at how not so organized and tight that this field is now. pack is pretty much separated in two of this main pack, and then you have that back pack that's all the way there coming out of turn 4 right now, and still James Mullins here up at the front, but he's going to be on fire here from Cody McKinney pretty shortly.
Yeah, Cody McKinney trying to hold him off, and I don't think that, you talk about it, I don't think that outside lane is where you really want to be. But again, you've got to try something. As Mullins is up there, he's making it work on the high side. Now he dips down back right on that white line, or as close as he can get to it. As we'll see, McKinney, man, he is all over the back bumper of your leader, Mullins. You know, how cool would it be? We saw in those stage wins, Jason, where we had, you know, side-by-side for second and third in the stage 1 and stage 2. I think that was just a precursor. We're building up to a side-by-side for the the actual race win here in 39 laps.
Yeah, we're about to see here pretty shortly. I mean, only going to be about 34 laps to go coming up here once they hit lap 101. And I mean, Cody McKinney has shown that he has probably the best truck. But I mean, James Mullins, ever since that incident that happened way earlier, he's been able to maintain himself, get back up towards the front, and now he finds himself leading this race. While majority of this field, though, trying to stay side by side.
Yeah, they just the Pence racing it the side by side, as you mentioned, and now they're getting a little strung out. We'll zoom that camera out a little bit, and you can see single, 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 and you get back to Chapman, and you start seeing those battles build back up again. But you know, it's kind of coming waves here in this second or third stage, where they'll get side by side and then they'll go single file, and makes me really wonder, Jason, as you're seeing more single file now with 40 laps on Mullins tires, 25 on Cody McKinney. Are these tires getting so worn out now, along with fuel getting low, that they're opting not to try to push it as much until they can get in, get fresh Goodyear tires, get some fresh fuel in there, and then just go hammer down for the last 30-ish laps after pit stops?
I would say so, definitely. I mean, with the fuel run only being... Oh, whoa, Nick Goebel, look at him, back straightaway, sideways, out on line. Way off the pace there. He's able to maintain and get back on track. Might spin it out right here, possibly, but... I mean, Charles, you bring up a great point there. I believe so, absolutely. I mean, these tires are significantly worn out now, over a second with wear. So, I mean, I believe personally when they come into the pits, it's going to be all game. It's just going to be about what driver is going to obviously take that undercut. Will you see somebody possibly like a Wayne Grossi who's there on the end of that pack? Will he come into the pits early? Will Robert Malikian come into the pits, obviously? Maybe Cody McKinney will decide, hey, I'm not going to let anybody undercut me. I want to be the first to come in the pit. We're just going to have to find out and see here coming up, because it's going to be really interesting. Expecting green flag pit stops here pretty shortly.
Yeah, definitely I'm expecting pit stops any time now. Again, 43 laps for your race leader right now of Mullins. So obviously, you know, he's got to be coming in. We heard around 46 laps, and you know, you don't want to run the tank fully dry. But that was their estimate we were seeing. They could potentially go more, but I doubt it's going to be too many more, as we now have 33 laps to go. And, you know, if I'm Cody McKinney, I have 29 laps on my tires in this stint fuel. You got 44 for Mullins. If you're McKinney, are you going to come down with the leader even though you probably could go a little bit longer, or are you going to stay out? Do you pit with him? That, you know, if it's me, I'd pit with him.
Yeah, we're going to have to see, obviously. I mean, you don't want Cody McKinney to get the advantage here. So, I mean, if you're somebody like a James Mullins being this leader here, maybe try to pit before Cody McKinney. But if he pits, then obviously try to pit with him if you can. But definitely try to come down and pit with him next time, no doubt about that. But, man, they have really pulled away here from this rest of the field, Charles.
Yeah, you know, they way pulled away. You're talking about, 1.149 from first to second, and then 1.4 seconds to third place. And this is what I was talking about. You know, these guys were kind of biding their time in the first two stages. They weren't doing a lot. Now they're showing what they have. And now when you start doing this, this is when, if you're Burns, Chapman, Malikian, Schaefer, Bliss, these guys are panicking a little bit because, you know, they put the afterburners on, or nitrous, whatever. They may want to check in there because they have took off. And now you are in, you know, scramble mode. You got to figure out, what do I need to do to get up there, because they're doing that with 47 lap old tires, by the way. 47, so we're past the 46 point.
Yeah, pit stop's coming up very, very shortly here as we're on lap 105 coming around. This time by, it'll be less than, obviously, 30 laps to go. Now make it 29. This time by at the line. Cody McKinney still trying to find a way around James Mullins. And I mean, Charles, if you're this number 28 machine of Cody McKinney, you obviously have to put the pressure on the 60 despite it. And here we go. Pit stop's beginning. We're going to hold that thought just now. Brian Bliss, Lewis Meglin, Marshall Johnson, they're going to be the first ones to come pit road. And Charles, I'm assuming this is going to open up the door.
Yeah, this is definitely going to open the door. And, you know, we're not talking about just creeping that door, and it's going to kick it in right now. These guys come in. That's sending signals, and here we go. We're going to have more come in. Looks like our leaders coming in, Mullins, along with Chapman, Burns, Maliki, and all these guys coming in. They saw all those 3 or 4 come in, and they said, I got to go now.
Yeah, definitely coming in this time by. James Mullins able to come down and beat Cody McKinney into the pits, who has not elected yet. And remember, James Mullins on an older strategy compared to Cody McKinney, so Cody can go a lot longer than this number 60 machine. So that's why you saw the 60 have to pit first. And now the question is going to be, Charles, when does Cody McKinney eventually come into the pits? Because he's got one more stop to go. I mean, this is going to get interesting, obviously. I mean, I still don't even really know who's going to win this one.
Yeah, and where this could get interesting is, you know, we don't see a whole lot of cautions, period, in this league anyway. But if we were to get a caution while these guys are a lap down, you know, that could play a factor into it, as it's not going to matter. He's coming down.
And here he goes. Comes into the pits. Final time for Cody McKinney. Going to lead that 28 machine. The Premier Racing Setup Shop Toyota Tundra TRD machine comes in. Tommy Schaefer in. Tony Solari, Colby Mice, Joey McKinney, Nick Goebel. Lots of drivers coming in this time, with James Torrey, Brody Hanna, and Tom Price staying out right now. And here's the thing, Charles. Imagine if a caution were to come out. What would that do to this race?
Turn it upside down. Is that like, oh, I thought the one was about to just plaster the wall. He was way turning in there. I thought he was sideways, but he was just making a really hard turn to get in. We'll see. It looks like James Troy now going to come in. TJ Bartell. Brody Hanna still not coming in. He's got 30 laps, so he's got about 10 to 11 laps left of fuel. We got 25 to go. You know, he's on a strategy. I think he's banking on a caution where he can come in and save a little bit, because he went from a lap, 2 laps down, or sorry, 1 lap down to just not on the first one, and now he's leading this race, so he has got to be banking on a strategy of a caution.
Yeah, I believe so, that Brody Hanna is going to be banking in on a caution. It's just going to be, will it pay off for the driver of the 23 machine, last week's winner at the Atlanta Motor Speedway? Will it pay off? We're going to have to find out here, possibly. You see him just kind of riding around. He's got about 17.5 seconds over TJ Bartell and the rest of the field. 1 caution, and he's back in the game. But right now, doing a great job out front, Charles. All he needs is that 1 caution right now.
Yeah, just a single caution, a couple cars getting together, and, you know, he is back in this thing right now. He's going to be a little short, so, again, he's definitely hoping for a miracle here. But, hey, we've seen stranger things happen, so we'll keep an eye on him. Right behind him is TJ Bartell, who we haven't seen up towards front too far tonight. So we'll see how it all plays out. Checking to see exactly where he's started. If I can flip, and got some new software, so not telling me everything I need to know. We'll have to go in there and adjust on that. But you know, he started further back. He's doing good right now in second. But there is the guy everybody's
First wreck, not a ton like Brody Hanna was or others, but he's just done such a great job at rebounding here tonight.
Yeah, he has indeed. And, you know, this is what I just happened to notice, and I want to keep an eye on. You've got this nice little group of cars here, the 27, 28, 99, the Chapman, McKinney, and Burns. They're running down Mullins. They're almost, when I say working together here with 20 to go, could they be working together to try to get by Mullins? As I say that the 99 Burns going to pull out just a little bit and leave these two to themselves. But, you know, could you see these guys slightly work together to try to get a little bit more speed at what little draft you can get and get by Mullins and kind of tag team them?
You very well could. I mean, they very well could. I mean, right now looking at, I mean, they're only back 5 seconds. So, I mean, they very well could be trying to draft. And I know Ryan Chapman's done a great job over the offseason trying to make himself a better driver. He is the winner. Usually you see him from front to mid-pack. But unfortunately just can't really close the deal the majority of the time. Tonight could be the opportunity for him. He's got a great pusher right behind him. They're just going to have to try to get past James Mullins here, coming to 17 to go this time by. Things are starting to get really interesting.
Yeah, they are definitely getting very interesting. And, you know, again, we always say time will tell, and time is winding down here with now 18 laps to go. And, you know, looking back a little further, give these guys some love as well. The 16 of Robert Malikian, he is back there trying to get his run. He had a good run all night long. He was up at the front contending with this. Currently in at ninth, so not quite where he wanted. You know, if we see a caution, it's going to stack this field right now. They're just a little spread out, and that's not what you want if you want to make a run for the lead, because right now that 16 machine is 24 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, crazy, obviously, that, you know, that most of these guys have really tried to play some strategy, but it just hasn't really worked, or it has worked, one or the other. I mean, if you're Brody Hanna, you are hoping and praying for a caution here pretty soon, because James Mullins is closing in quickly. But I mean, 21 seconds back. You know, that's a long time, but it can really close up very quickly. And you see James Mullins, Cody McKinney battling. All those guys really battling now. And Cody McKinney, he's going to try to go to the outside. Thought about it for a moment. Stays in line. Now he goes to the outside here entering turn 3.
And again, we knew they were going to wait and duke it out at the end, and that's what they're doing here. You know, it's go time. You have 15 laps to go, approximately about 6 to 7 minutes worth of racing. It's go time. You have the tires you have the fuel you have. It is now time to, like I said earlier, put those afterburners on and, you know, put your focus fully on winning this race. Before, it's just staying up front, staying on the lead lap. Now it's win. That's what matters. That's what you got to do. Mullins has it at the moment. McKinney, like you said, Chapman, Burns, all these guys, they won, and they are all over his back bumper. And I'm not too sure. Take a look here. I think he might have a bit of a indented back bumper on Mullins. Maybe someone gave him a little bit of a shot in the rear.
Yeah, definitely a possibility. And remember, too, the 60 was damaged in one of those earlier wrecks. Look at him trying to block the 28 machine to the top of the racetrack. You ride on board with Cody McKinney this time, entering turns 3 and 4. And McKinney trying to go to the outside. He might be able to get the edge right here, Charles. Trying to pack some air on the left, or rather the right rear, but just can't get past that ESC machine.
Yeah, that Elliott Sadler Esports machine, and they got a good package when it comes to racing at any track he's been to so far. And he's trying to get by him, like I said, just trying to not wreck him. He's just trying to take the air off the back of that truck a little bit and kind of almost lift it up and away, just enough to upset the back end, get him a little squirmy, and get by him as he's trying there on the outside. No, he's doing a good job though, Jason. But that 60 machine with Mullins, he's doing a real good job of holding him off as well.
Yeah, definitely doing a great job here, coming to 11 laps to go this time by, and Cody McKinney has been all over the back bumper of James Mullins, your Daytona winner. Cody yet to win a race here in the first 2 weeks, and he's got 11 laps to try to make it happen here. Ryan Chapman, though, don't count him out. Right there as well with J.P. Burns there in that number 99 machine. A driver who was involved in that first wreck, hanging on in the top 5. Charles, this isn't even really a two-truck race. This is pretty much a 5-truck race for the win here coming to 10 to go.
Yeah, and that's always fun to see. We talk about it. Nobody's dominated this series so far. And here you are coming with 10 laps to go right there, 10 to go. And you got a 5-horse race in this. Mullins, McKinney, Chapman, Burns, and Meglin there. Meglin not quite in it, but Burns, we got a 4. There's a lap car in there, I thought it was, but that is the 99 of Burns' last one. But still some really, really good battling. I believe this is the one that's mixed up with them. That is Nick Goebel, so he's actually 3 laps down, but, we talk about it all the time. Lap cars, while you may not be in the contention to win, you could be in a contention and a spot to help somebody get the win if you want to push them or not push them. So lap cars down or not, they still play a huge factor in this race.
Yeah, definitely a huge factor, and can create some situations where you got to go around them, but you also have to avoid dirty air, which is definitely a possibility that we can see here. Coming up this time by, 8 laps to go. What is going to happen here this time? Still McKinney all over the back bumper of Mullins. These guys behind him, Chapman, Goebel, who's a lap down, and then J.P. Burns. Said 5-truck race. It was a 4-truck race, actually. You see Chapman starting to slide around. Goebel, he'll go to the bottom. Here comes Cody McKinney going to the outside lane. Charles, he'll try to get him one more time, entering 3, but he slams the door on the 60, or rather the 28.
Not to bring up sad memories as well, but good memories. As you watch the 60, he is going up and down, blocking wherever he needs to go. It really throws back memories to, Daytona with the late, great Dell Sr. He was doing it, going up and down. He was blocking whatever row he needed to do to keep that lead. That's what the 60's doing right now, and doing a fine job at it as well. I don't know if mirror driving is the best type, but he's winning, and that's what matters. That's what you've got to do. He's making the moves where he needs to make them to keep himself out front.
And doing a great job, obviously, at it. So here we go. This time by, 6 laps to go. Cody has been trying to get around this number 60 machine, just hasn't done the job just yet. This time, coming into turns 3 and 4. Can Cody McKinney here, Charles, get this run on the 60 machine? He is running out of time, and dirty air has been such a big factor for this race lead here tonight.
And unfortunately, I don't know if he's going to be able to get by him. You'll see that the 60 come up a little bit and take that momentum away from him. I just don't think he's going to be able to do it unless he can get close enough to really take that air off of him, or, kind of bump him a little bit and push him out of the groove that he's wanting to run. I just don't know if he's going to have enough momentum to do it. It's a caution is out.
Caution on the racetrack. This changes everything. And Joey McKinney has gone around on the front straightaway in the Premier Racing setup shop number 18 machine. Take a look here what happened, Charles, coming off 4.
Now look and see exactly what happened. 3 wide, that obviously was a factor into it. And we'll see exactly what happened to that 18 of McKinney. And so far, so good. I'm thinking we might have had a little hook here, and yeah, we do. Just right there, just hooks him, spins him into the wall, and that is a hard lick to the outside wall for the 18. And that will obviously, like you mentioned, that's going to change things up big time, as that should send us into overtime.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to send us into overtime here, and the question is going to be, will you pit, will you not pit? But obviously, Cody McKinney, no more sets of tires. Back behind the wall, he is already elected to use up all of them here coming down. So we're about to find out what's going to happen here. Pace car lights still on. I mean, Charles, do we like the 28's chances here, even though the 60 is going to be restarting, or do we like somebody else? Do we like the 60? What are we liking here?
This is going to be a tough one because he's going to start on the outside, so he's going to be side by side. That's a plus for him. If he can make that outside lane work, I think he might be in good shape if he can stay side by side. As far as tires, his tires are 2 laps fresher. I don't think that's going to play too big a deal. 2 laps isn't that much. So I really think it comes down to how good of a start he can get, and can he get by him on the outside. If he can't do it, well, then I have a feeling this race is going to go to Mullins.
Yeah, we're going to obviously find out here pretty quickly and see what is going to happen. I mean, it's been a really interesting race. We have seen a lot of interesting stuff go up at the front of this field, but it's all been really Cody McKinney just trying to get around James Mullins, not able to do anything really just yet with the race lead, but we're going to find out here possibly and see what happens. And I mean, Charles, do we use all these overtimes here?
Based on what I've seen this season, we haven't used them so far, so I'm going to go with my gut and say no. I don't think we'll use but this one here. That being said, again, anything is possible. Obviously we'll use one. I just don't think, I think these guys, they're good enough that we're just going to use one, as lights are still on, so we're going to go another lap. But no, I don't think we'll use more than the one overtime tonight.
We're going to have to find out here. We're going to take a quick commercial break before they get lined up and racked up and restart for overtime here in the FTSR Sim Racing Points Truck Series. We'll be right back for the start of, or rather the restart here for what could be the final restart here tonight. Who is it going to be? James Mullins, Cody McKinney? We're going to find out.
10 years of speed. 10 years of stories. For the past 10 years, we've been more than just spectators. We've been the heartbeat of local racing, growing alongside the tracks, drivers, and fans who make it all possible. From the dusty turns to the checkered flags, we've shared every triumph and every challenge, making memories that last a lifetime. As we mark this milestone, we're not just looking back, we're revving up for the future. We are expanding, bringing you even more racing, more coverage, and more ways to connect with the adrenaline-fueled world we love. Our commitment to the local racing community is unwavering, and the next chapter promises to be our most exciting yet.
Welcome back to the FTSR Sim Racing Points Truck Series, coming down for the restart with 2 laps to go. Jason Rockfell alongside Charles Wooten up here in the LSRTV booth, and it's going to get good. We've seen James Mullins be able to hold off Cody McKinney, Ryan Chapman, JP Burns, Lewis Meglin, Robert Malikian, all right there in the fight here. Charles coming to 2 laps to go. Who is it going to be? The iRacing pace car going to make the left turn down to pit road this time. Here we go. Will it be the only time we use overtime? 3 attempts if needed. Green flag is in the air, and James Mullins leads us down with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, this is where it's, you got to go. You got to go, or it just isn't your day here to win. As Mullins gets a huge jump, and we're wrecking already.
Wrecking big time. Back of the pack there at a turn number 2. Oh my goodness. Cody McKinney, one of the drivers who was so strong all night long, unfortunately involved in this one. Wow.
Right off the replay.
Yeah.
restart, not replay, right off the restart. We'll see. Is this going to happen here momentarily? And not what he wanted at all. Didn't get the jump he wanted. Kind of got bogged down. And, that just contact between him and the 43.
Yeah, just contact, obviously, and creates a massive multi-truck pileup coming out of turn number 2. But, I mean, Charles, that's kind of what you got to expect here on these late race restarts. Chaos ensues, and unfortunately, that's what we saw right there.
And you asked me, would we use any more? Well, I was wrong on that prediction. So we are going to use number 2 out of 3. So we still have one more after this one. I'm still banking on my, based on what I've seen, I don't think we're going to use that third one. But as just proven, I can be wrong.
Yeah, we've obviously been proven wrong before, and we'll probably be proven wrong again here. And now it's a different group of trucks here at the front right now, Charles. I mean, you have James Mullins still leading, Ryan Chapman right there, then J.P. Burns, he's back up, Robert Malikian, Colby Mice, Tom Price round out your top 6. I mean, does anybody else, I mean, we saw the 28 try, got involved. I mean, does anybody else have anything left here for the 60 machine?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the 28 was his best shot. And obviously, he is now damaged pretty badly. So I just don't know if anybody's got anything for him. On the other hand, maybe the 28 was also holding up somebody like Chapman or Burns. And they're a little bit quicker. They have their shot to be on the outside and try to make something happen. So, we could see a whole different winner. We just don't know. It's one of the things about time will tell. Chapman may have something for him here.
Chapman very well might have something for him, and we're about to find out and see, obviously. I believe the iRacing pace lights are going to go off here in just a moment, and it's just been an interesting race. We've talked about it. I mean, pretty much all pack racing throughout the entire field, a majority of tonight, and right now, Charles, it's going to come down to pack racing. You're going to have to obviously get up on the throttle. I mean, if you're Ryan Chapman, what more can you do to get around the 60 here?
And you've got to pull out every stop you have to try to make it. I mean, everything. Every trick in the book, you're probably going to have to deploy it because Mullins is just fast.
Yeah, Mullins definitely is fast here, and they're coming around turns 1, 2 here, coming into iRacing. I mean, you got the rain coming in, you got the mill bridge, you got the micro sprints. I mean, dude, what is it going to take for you to get back on the steering wheel? We got to get you back on here.
That's a really good question. To get me behind the wheel, first off, you got to get me a wheel. The micros, the mini sprints, that might get me there. We'll see. If they really do get those in, if they could get the either QRC or the Ryan Foster chassis, if we get some outlaw carts on here, I really think you'd probably get me behind the wheel again on here just for the pure fun of it. But we'll see. I think they probably have it planned at some point, whether they'll tell us now or later. But yeah, that would probably be what it takes to get me back behind the wheel.
Yep. I can only imagine. You gotta get Charles Wooten back on the wheel here in iRacing. But pace car lights are out. Getting ready again. Jason Rockfeld, Charles Wooten up here in the booth with you here for tonight's coverage. I am severely under the weather, trying the best I can. Charles has been doing a great job being my wingman tonight, man. I don't know what I would do without you. Trying to get through this race, and obviously about to see a fantastic finish. I mean, possibly a photo finish again. I mean, the chances of it happening here are very high, but we're about to come down and find out who is going to be the race winner here at Las Vegas. Coming up this time by James Mullins, Ryan Chapman, J.P. Burns, Robert Malikian. Round out your first 2 rows. And here we go. Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out. Mullins, Chapman lead them back down to the green flag. And they're back down into turn number 1, Charles, with coming up to a lap and a half to go.
And if we're going to see a caution, I think it's going to be a little further back in the field like it was before, as Mullins once again gets a huge run, but they're making a run to the inside on that inside lane. Mullins going to say, nope, I'm coming down. We're going to block that. Not happening. This is my house. I'm gambled, and I'm winning this race, as he's going to try and a caution's out.
Caution comes out. We're going to have to use that third attempt at overtime. Wayne Grossi, Cody McKinney go around heading into turn 3, coming to the white flag, and unfortunately all heck broke loose. Charles, break us through it.
Yeah, and this is not what any of these guys wanted to see. We'll get another shot at the restart. As you saw the 28, and I believe that was the 7. Oh, yeah, Wayne Grossi involved in that Pennzoil truck. We'll see exactly what happened right there. Just a collision between a few trucks, and it turned into a lot more than a few. There's a lot of trucks involved in that one. Parts flying everywhere. And the 28's just, I'm just going to roll backwards until it stops. As he is once again just probably devastated at this point after being involved in the first one and doing so good in this race, and then to be caught in another one just being back in the field. So unfortunate for him, unfortunate for Grossi and everyone else involved. But if you're the 99 of Burns, Chapman, Mice, this gives you one more attempt to try to get the jump on that 60 machine. They hadn't been able to do it so far, but they're going to try. But they have one attempt. The next flag, whether it be the white flag, checkered flag, or the yellow, will end this race.
Yeah, and obviously this is going to be the final attempt at overtime that we will see. So it's going to get interesting, to say the least here. I mean, James Mullins, we've talked about it consistently all night long, been the dominator pretty much. And now you have J.P. Burns, who was involved in that first wreck. Same with James Mullins. He's going to be restarting alongside him. I mean, Charles, this is going to get really, really good here. I mean, pick your poison. I mean, James Mullins, it's going to be hard to beat him, though, like we've talked about. I mean, the truck, the dirty air, he's just got it all right now.
Yeah, he definitely has it all. Yeah, this is Mullins' race to lose. He's just got to, mind his P's and Q's, don't do anything crazy, get a good jump. And what would really be awful, and we hope this doesn't happen for him, is, to spin these tires now with 35 laps on them. You've managed to go through this entire race on restarts, and now the final restart of this race. He's proven he's a good driver, so, it looks like he's got nerves of steel. I don't think he's going to do it, but, mistakes can happen to anybody. So that's what you've got to do. You've got to do your best to not make any mistakes on this restart.
Mistake free. That's what's going to win you the race here. We're still under the caution flag, obviously. Pace car lights, though, are not out. So we're still going to go around here at least a couple more times so far. Let's take a look at some real quick. Name off a few drivers who are having really good runs despite where they started. And obviously there's the Virginia811.com race summary reminding you to dig with care. 28 caution laps, 15 lead changes, 7 cautions we've had so far here tonight. And you look at drivers, Charles, who are doing really, really good. How about Colby Mice in the number 8 machine, up 18 spots. Been a really quiet night for the driver, the number 8 Toyota machine, and he's up to 4th, and he's going to have a shot here coming to 2 laps to go for the win.
Yeah, he has definitely got a good shot, and he's one of those that he's always hanging around, and we're chatting with him, I think it'd be really cool for him to get the win. We razz him a little bit and have fun, but it's all good fun. So it'd be really cool to see him get a win, especially even a podium, to get to talk to him in the post-race show, and see how that truck was handling. But, again, he's got to make no mistakes, and he's done it so far to be in 4th place as the lights are off or doubled up. So we're about to go racing for the final time here at Las Vegas in this season anyway. So, again, it's all up to mistakes. I think that's what it's going to come down to.
all mistakes. Will the 60 be mistake-free? Will anybody else be better? Will they make a mistake? So we're about to find out here. Row number 1, Mullins, Burns. Row 2, Chapman and Mice. Row 3, Malikian and Price. So it's going to get interesting. I mean, it's been interesting all night long, like we have said multiple times. It's just been so hard, though, to beat the 60 of James Mullins. His best competition was Cody McKinney, and he's all the way back in the 16th position. So, gonna find out. 2 laps to go here at the 1.5 mile in the Nevada desert, right next to the Nellis Air Force Base. James Mullins trying to pick up his 2nd win of the season, this time coming to the line. He's going to have Chapman on his bumper. Burns will have Mice in the DoorDash Toyota right back behind him. Here we go. Final attempt at overtime. Through the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. And Charles Mullins gets a great restart, but he's going to have JP Burns right behind him as they head into 1.
Yeah, and this is their shot right here. They've got to make it count. They've got to get to the back bumper. Maybe use the bumper. We'll see. They like to race clean, so we'll have to wait and see if that's going to happen, or if Mullins is going to take the win. And again, caution or checkered or white flag, either one. Next flag ends this race. Mullins coming to the line. He'll take the white flag right there. So we officially have the CRN 1 to go.
JP Burns hot on his heels. He'll go to the outside lane this time by. Tries to pull the crossover, but Mullins has the position. Down the back straightaway for the final time. And Burns looking to go to the inside. Not enough. What will he do here for the final time? Through 3 and 4. He's got a great run coming off the corner. Slides up. Nice to the inside, but it's going to be James Mullins winning the Las Vegas 200. Here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. What a dominant performance by the 60.
Yeah, he definitely had a dominating performance here tonight, and just an outstanding run. Not bad. We also get to talk to Cody Mice. He finishes in 3rd place, so a huge run for Colby Mice. As he is definitely going to be excited about that one, but 3 races started, 2 wins for James Mullins. So that guy is on fire here in the series so far.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. As he burns it down, we're going to take a look here at the unofficial race results here in just a moment. There they are. James Mullins comes home P number 1. Burns, Mice, your top 3 we'll get to talk to all the way down. You see Marshall Johnson, Brian Bliss. That's your top 10, obviously. TJ Bartell, Tom Price there. And obviously top 10 rounded out by Brian Bliss there, Charles.
Yeah, and your 11th through 20th going to be Lewis Meglin, James Troy, Tommy Schaefer, Cody McKinney. Again, disappointing for Cody McKinney. Had a fantastic truck, just did not get the results he wanted, and probably deserved as good as he was. Justin Diltz in 15th, followed by Brody Hanna. Another disappointing run for him. Just not the position that he had the truck for, I think. Wayne Grassi in 17th, followed by Alan Duranco. Troy, I keep wanting to call him Troy, Tony Solaire, Rick Webb in 20th, and the last few going to be Nick Goebel, Sherwood, Williford, Kyle Milliken, Joseph McKinney, and Bill Hull are going to be your 25 starters here tonight.
Yeah, and that is your unofficial race results presented by LiveSimRacingTV.com. And with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, gather up the top 3, talk to them real quick, close it out. Again, LSRTV's coverage of the FTSR Sim Racing Points Truck Series from Vegas. We're going to bring the conclusion here in just a moment. We'll be right back to grab the top 3 finishers. Welcome back to LSRTV's coverage here of the Sim Racing Points Truck Series for the FTSR League. Obviously, wrapping up here tonight, we're going to go over to P3, Colby Mice. Colby, Charles just mentioned it before we came back. You were so excited you wanted to come and talk to us, man. You started deep in this field, and obviously, you made your way up for a top 3 podium position. How does it feel, and obviously, how was your night?
Man, it started out rough, but I feel good after that podium, man. Alpha Gear gave me one hell of a truck, and I can't ask for anything better from Alpha Gear or their setup builder. I just want to thank Cody and Tommy, really, because they gave me, like I said, one hell of a truck that I just can't ask for anything better, man. It felt good all night. I got up there, got lost in the back, got back up there, got lost in the back, and finally things played out in those last few laps, and it's something I've been waiting for a long time.
And obviously, congratulations on that 3rd place run, man. Any other quick shout-outs you want to give here tonight before we let you go to celebrate that P3?
Honestly, I just want to give a shout-out to Alpha Gear for giving me a chance this year, and all of my sponsors on my truck, and Tommy and Cody for being some of the best team owners I can ever ask for, man.
Well, there you go. Keep it short and sweet. That's Colby Mice, driver of the number 8 machine, coming home P3. Now we're going to move over to P2, JP Burns. JP, man, you tried your hardest there. I'm not going to lie, man. Sitting up here in the booth with how hard it was to pass James there, those last few laps, time after time, it's as if, like, there was just consistent time and effort being put into it, but just dirty air seemed to be in the way.
Yeah, I couldn't really muster anything up to get past my teammate there, but, you know, it's nice to come away with a second. Had to flip the stage 1 there. Came in early, in that early caution before the stage end, and so it got me up to the front and stayed up here, so I'm pretty happy about my finish.
You know, we're always happy to finish P2. Hopefully you can finish one spot better next week, obviously. And with that being said, man, before we let you go, you want to give any quick shout-outs for celebrating that P2 here tonight?
Yeah, my team for sure. They helped a lot this race. From behind up front, we tried to maintain the field, and I'd like to thank Scott Martin for allowing us to put Martin Sports on the truck.
Love Scott Martin. Love Sue Martin. Martin Sports absolutely rules. I agree with that. That's JP Burns, driver the number 99, coming home P2 here tonight. Now we'll move over to Victory Lane, obviously brought to you by Victory Fuel here, and obviously you can use COI19 at checkout to save 10% off your order. Proud sponsor of FTSR. And James, that's 2 wins now on the season, man. You're 2 for 3. So strong. You battled a majority with Cody McKinney here tonight, man. Just take us through and how it feels to come home with another win here just 3 races in.
Yeah, no, man, it feels pretty good. Put a lot of work in on the setup. I just wish the way them cautions kind of played into their hands a little bit better than mine, because the longer the run goes, the better my truck gets. I could have just held it wide open the whole time. So I just put a lot of work in the setup, and it showed, and I was just happy to get the win.
Well, there you go, man. Congratulations, obviously. And before we let you go to celebrate your 2nd win of the season, anybody else you want to thank here tonight for this bad fast win that you had all night?
Oh yeah, I couldn't have got this win without Sean Selvage and the Pickup Boys. We go out and we work hard every day. We pick up the world, and that's what we do.
There you go, man. That's kick-ass pretty much. So that's James Mullins, driver of the number 60 machine, coming home P1. And Charles, what a race, man. Really interesting. Nobody really pulled away besides James and Cody there towards that one part of the race. I mean, very interesting to say the least here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It's overall perfect race. 7 cautions, not a lot here tonight. It's only 28 caution laps of 134. And the streak continues of good, clean racing here with the Full Throttle Sim Racing League, and looking forward to next Monday.
Should be a fun one, obviously, and they will be at Vegas on Monday night. Same time, same place. You can catch tomorrow's action of the Stars and Stripes Racing League, round number 8 from Richmond at 9:20 p.m. Sim Racing Points Truck Series back next Wednesday. I believe it is at the Phoenix Raceway in the Arizona desert. Should be a fun one. But with that being said, want to thank FTSR for giving us the opportunity to cover tonight's broadcast. Want to thank Jeff Stabnow, Wesley Outland, Rocket Racing Media. Charles, thank you as always, man, for being my wingman and being the great producer that you always are. Congratulations to James Mullins. I'm Jason Rockefeller, signing out from Las Vegas. We'll see you next week from the Arizona desert. Good night.